Hello everyone, welcome to a geography class. And today we are going to talk about this question: how to make blah 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 more sustainable. And you may consider what is sustainable and how are we going to put in this blank. Okay, the first is, before we talk about sustainable, maybe we can take a look at this globe. Okay, imagine this is our world. And how many people live in our world right now? It's about 7.8 billion people. And in the 7.8 billion people, it takes 1/3 of the Earth's resources to produce food. The food is including like vegetables, fruits, and the meat. Okay, however, by the 2050, there are 9.9 billion people will live in this world. But however, the world's resources is limited. So some resources you have to take places for the houses. Some places you need to be for the economic development. For example, building a factory or building a business area. In some places, it's not it's not good for the farming. For example, like deserts, or like in the Antarctica or Arctica area, the weather is too cold. And some places, maybe it's like river or lakes, it cannot grow vegetable. It cannot grow the agriculture. They cannot do the agriculture activity in there. So in some places like the highway or the roads, they also cannot grow the vegetable or the fruits or something like meat. So how much do we left? We only left this proportion. But how can we use this limited land to create more food for more people in the future? So this is a question that our next generation need to figure it out, need to solve this question. So is this possible? Can we make more food with less land? Here is a sustainable. Well, the definition of a sustainable is we use the resources, but we do not compromise the resources for the next generation. So in our sustainable agriculture, what we can do is we can choose the agriculture based on how it grows to how it comes to our table. For example, when we grow the sustainable agriculture, we can try to reduce the amount of water usage. For example, using some technique by dripping the water, or we can use the fertilizer, which is organic fertilizer, and it won't harm the soil. And for the customer, as a customer, that is for the producer. For the customer, we can choose the fruit that is from local area, and we can eat the fruit or vegetable that is in the season. For example, now it's in the winter, and we can eat more like oranges or some vegetable that is better in the winter. So this is a concept of sustainable. And I think you are understanding the sustainable and knowing why we need a sustainable, because this is the way that how human can survive in the future. So here we have the problem we need to solve today is how can we make our school lunches more sustainable? Okay, so is our school lunches more sustainable? Why I choose the school lunches as our topic and the reason that we want to solve? Because I heard too much complaints from you guys that you don't like our school lunches, right? And you say, oh, it's not delicious, or the option is too limited, or that's also a complaint. So now we are going to solve this problem together, and in the end, you will make a proposal to the principal and tell the principal how would you survey about this question, and how would you want to change? How can you make an impact on our school and persuade the principal to accept your ideas? So now today we use the design thinking process, and it has a five phase of the design thinking. The first is empathize. Empathize means that we have to empathize the user. What's it thinking? What's it in the user's mind? Why the user they want to think like that way, and what they want to change in the user's mind. And the second is define. We have to define the problem. Why we have this problem, and how can we do to improve the problem, the situation like this. And ideate. Ideate means you are going to propose any ideas you have. And in the next step, you can make a prototype. Prototype means you can make a test. And that test, it can come on the idea and make a test. For example, you can make lunch boxes. And the lunch box is maybe it's only for our classes, so about 20 people. And you can try out, you can test whether it is workable, whether it's feasible. If it is feasible, you can propose to a principal. If it's not, maybe you can come finding out which part is make something wrong or which part can be improved. So it is not a linear process. You can change, you can step into different step by your needs, okay? So now, so please separate it into groups. Okay, so 5 people into a group, and we are going to have 4 groups. So group A, and group B, group C, and group D. So please form 4 people, 4 people in your group, 5 people in your group. Okay, so because we have 20 students in total, and 5 people in your group. Okay, start. Okay, I think you formed in the groups, and now we are doing the first step of design thinking. That is empathize. Empathize means you have to understand your user. And who is your user? Basically, most of the user to eat the school lunches are students. So now you are going to take 1 stickers, and you are going to the group A, you are going to interview the group B, and you are going to ask group B, what do you think about our school lunch? Why do you doesn't like our school lunch? And do you know about the sustainable? And if not, and why not? And if not, you don't understand the sustainable, maybe you can just write it down. And if you know the sustainable, and you can say, okay, I know you know the sustainable, I know you know the sustainable agriculture, the sustainable food. Do you think our school lunches is sustainable? If not, how can we do that? If yes, and you can say why. Okay, that is the first step of empathize. So please come to take the stickers and interview with your group, okay? And in the interviewing, there's 2 major things you have to notice. The first one is you have to come up with a question. So the question you can discuss with your team members, and you can choose 2 people to 3 people who are going to interview, who are going to ask questions. And if you choose 2 people to ask questions, and another 2 people will be writing down what's your discussion and what's the question, what's the answer. You can just make some notes. And the 1 people that you can be observe. You need to observe what the people they ask and what the people they answer, and you can ask some question if the main key and the questioner they didn't ask. So this is an important job. So please come to take your sticker, okay? Okay, so now I think you are all finished the first step of interviewing. And now we have got a lot of stickers from here, and we are going to grouping your ideas. The first is, who is our main user? And most of you receive, it's not only who is our users. Some say is students. However, I got some answers is from, but for example, teachers. Teachers were going to eat the school lunches, right? And also some workers in the school, they also eat the school lunches. And when they found a problem about the school lunch, they think it's not sustainable. Why? Because the school lunch is just like it won't change, so it's unchangeable. And the second is, some people receive the idea that the school lunch is not quite healthy. It doesn't have a lot of plant, it doesn't have a lot of vegetable. And some people say, okay, sometimes we don't know which season is the most suitable for what kind of fruit, so it's not in the season. And the most interesting thing I found is some students say, we don't know where our fruits come from. And maybe it's not because the sustainable agriculture, it emphasizes that the fruits comes from a near location farm is better because the carbon footprint of the food is not much, right? So they say, but actually we don't know where our food come from. So they say it's important to let the school understand that we want to know where our food come from. So this is emphasized, and we found some problem, right? So we need to know the food resources. And the second is, we need to know whether we have more options. The options which are good for our health. For example, good for our health and also our environment. For example, more vegetable, or the organic food option, or we can have less meat. So that is what we do in the first step of empathize. And then next, we are going to move on to the define.